Good morning, adventure travellers, and good morning, Mildura, Victoria. Okay, we're just leaving Jackie's place where we stayed for the last couple of nights. Bit of a home stay. One evening in the tent out the back and then one evening in a room. And we are heading to Port Augusta in South Australia. It's a couple of days away. And not exactly sure where we're going to be stopping tonight, but it's another big day. I think we've got about 400 k's ahead of us of riding, and it's a beautiful Australian morning. So let's get on the road and get to it. A lot of vineyards in Mildura. Didn't get to sample any of the local tipple, but anyway, all these olive trees as well, so there's obviously an olive oil industry here as well. Maybe next time, Mildura, I'll try your olive oil and some of your wine. Here we are, cruising down Miami Vice Way, or Beverly Hills, or anywhere with palm trees on either side of the road. But here in Mildura, we have palm trees and vineyards. Okay, we've cleared Mildura now. We're about 40 k's out of Mildura, and we are on the big flat. As far as you can see, land, just flatness. It's pretty spooky in a way, but as a New Zealander it's also pretty cool as well, because we don't really have these big flat patches in our little country. Just seen a dead kangaroo in the middle of the road. It was quite a sizable one, so that always makes you a bit nervous, and just keep your eyes peeled. Just come across these massive power lines alongside the road, stretching as far as the eye can see. Wow, look at that, right off into the horizon. It's the big flat. Again, it's going to be a lot more of the big flat, I think. And yeah, very impressive man-made structures. We stopped here in the middle of nowhere. Not quite sure if we're in Victoria or South Australia, but it's very sandy, and there's a whole lot of nothing but a whole lot of everything out this way. It's a very cool landscape, very Australian. Okay, the front camera stopped working. But here's a clear view of that straight road as far as the eye can see. It's actually a little bit intimidating, especially when you've just seen a roo cross the road. It was far enough ahead of me, but they just come out of nowhere. The road's pretty rutted here, so I'm going to turn the camera off and concentrate on riding. Just a scenery stop on the side of the road. A great expanse. I think about it. This is our new friend Yuji. Yuji's luggage came off as he was coming along the dirt road, and so we've just stopped to see if he's okay, but he's all good. Yuji is from Kobe in Japan, where Kobelco comes from, so that's all good. Back on the tarmac and back to wine country. Wine everywhere. Well, grapes everywhere, which will be turned into wine. There's the sign. That makes me just a little bit nervous. Just gassing up in a little town called Renwick. Had a nice bit of lunch, and now we're on the road to Burra. B-U-R-R-A. Wow! How's that for another stretch of road? Just keeps going and going and going. Here we are, Burra. Let's see what this little place is like. The Borough of Burra. Is it a borough or is it a town? Who would know? Somebody will know. The campsite's not picking up the phone. Here's a local. So let's hope there are some places in the campsite, or else we're wild camping. But I think the campsite's wild camping anyway, so I do like these quaint little towns. Wouldn't want to live here necessarily, but great places to visit. There's a little river down there. School kids on the way home. This looks like it could be the campsite. It's certainly an RV park anyway. Wonder if they've got any tent sites. We made it to Burra Caravan Park. Here's our little setup. 3 tents in a row and 3 motorcycles to go with. So we're off to the pub for a beer and a meal, and hopefully it's good tucker. Good morning, adventure travellers, and good morning, Burra. I must say that's the best $10 I've ever spent. If you happen to be in Burra, stay in the Burra Caravan and camping tent site. There you go. Brilliant little place, brilliant little town, beautiful. We're off to Spalding now, where the boys are going to get some breakfast. Now I've had my cereal and fruit, and happy days. Big wind farm over there. There were quite a few workers in town, and they're all come to work on the wind farm. Sounds like they're putting up more turbines. I'm still undecided whether I like the look of those things or not. It's pretty brown out here. They obviously haven't seen any water for a while, and it looks like farmland as well, so I'm not sure if it's a bad patch or maybe it's just not growing season. But anyway, another stark change of a landscape as we cross Australia. It's a big old pipeline that's been going along the side of the road for miles and miles. Oh, there's 2 of them actually. Not exactly sure what's in it. Maybe natural gas, but yeah, it goes underground for some bits and then mostly above the ground. Don't know what that is over there. Maybe some grain silos. Anywho, back to the ride. We've actually got some twisties instead of long straight bloody roads. This might be the first twisties of the whole ride. Now we've been doing a lot of dirt over the other mountain passes. We're in some ranges now, and yeah, some nice tar-steel twisties for a change. Australia, you've got it all. Just stopped on the side of the road to check out the wind farm that I'm riding through. We've just come over some ranges. I'll find out the name of those later. So there they are. Quite an impressive little range there, and here we are. These massive wind turbines, and they're on both sides of the highway. There's some more in the distance there. Yet another roadscape. South Australia, just outside of Port Augusta. Good morning, adventure travellers. We're here in the town of Whyalla, on the coast of South Australia. It's on the opposite side of the Gulf to Adelaide. Stayed in a lovely little cabin last night. After the terrible winds that we rode through yesterday, putting up a tent was probably not on the cards. We're on our way to Mount Ive, which is literally in the middle of nowhere, so we've got to take extra fuel, and there's lots and lots of dirt, so it's going to be challenging. A 2-day ride to Ceduna. Here's the little cabin park that we've been staying in. There's our cabin there. And just the cabins dotted around the place. Okay, just gassing up at Whyalla before we hit the road to Mount Ive, which is literally in the middle of nowhere. We've got some extra gas, 5 litres. And there's nothing that we can get out there Mount Ive apart from more fuel. And we're out of here. Thank you, Whyalla. I would have liked a little bit more time to look around, but that's part of travelling with a group. We're heading for Iron Knob, and that's about 70 k's away. Then it's 100 k's of dirt. So that's going to be the longest amount of dirt in one stretch that we've done, and so probably about an hour to Iron Knob and 2 hours on the dirt. So relatively short day, but it's going to be quite challenging, 100 k's of dirt. So let's see how we get on. First roadscape for the day. Big long road as far as the eye can see, and I'm still intimidated by them. It's just something you're not used to seeing in New Zealand, just a straight road right off into the distance, and but that's Australia for you, just big crazy landmass. Another roo sign, love those. Okay, here we go. About 125 k's of dirt. At least 2 hours, and that's riding. That's not including time off the bike. So bring it on. Another sort of hill up ahead. Interesting looking landmark. Alright, we're heading, oops, bit of sand, keep going. Got to keep moving over the sand or you get bogged down. Okay, we're heading into the interior now. I mean the interior. More interior than the interior that we've already done. And I dare say it's going to be bloody cold tonight. And hopefully my merino gear is up to the job. But anyway, it's a beautiful day, great temperature, and yeah, nothing dramatic on the road so far. The only thing I'm really worried about is deep sand that we came across a few days ago. It was only a short patch, 100 meters or so, but it scared the bejesus out of all of us, and because it just sort of jumped up on us. And anyway, as you can see, there's a nice long road ahead of us, and pretty hospitable outback conditions. Nothing too nasty, a bit of greenery around, and let's hope it stays this way. Alrighty, we're still a good 105 k's away from Mount Ive, and the other two have blasted off into the sunset. They probably travel about 80 to 90 k's an hour on the gravel. I'm quite happy at 60 to 70, and it's much more relaxing, and you can actually take in much more of the view. So I've just stopped on the side of the road here, and I'm going to show you some of the landscape. Hope the camera can capture it. It's a beautiful South Australian morning, and it's interesting. We think of deserts by and large of a whole lot of nothing, but when you're actually, here's the bike, when you're actually out here, even as you head into the interior, it's you just realize that it's its own whole ecosystem, and it's teeming with life, just not life that you might think of in the traditional sense, whether it's in a jungle or in a city or something or other. But I dare say that there are lots of snakes and scorpions and other things out here. So yeah, we're in Snakeville, and I'm sure you'd like that, Nicole. You know who you are. Anyway, better get back on the bike. Roadscape number 2 for the day. Another road off into the distance. This one's a dirt one, and yeah, we've got that low-level scrub all around us. There's some trees over there. I wonder what lurks in there. But yeah, just cruising through the desert, as you do. Another stop on the side of the road, just because there is a phone box in a little shade thing. There you go, phone box. Phone and it doesn't work, but I'm sure it did at one point. Anyway, back on the road. Okay, we've got a roo at the side of the road here. Here he goes. Whoop, there's a couple of them. There they go. Checking me out. Any more of you boys? Just 2 of you? See you later. How good was that? They were just waiting by the side of the road. I could see them from 100 meters. It was under the tree. It was looking right at me. Those are the kinds of kangaroo crossings that we like. Well-trained kangaroos. Not the ones that jump out at you with no notice when you're doing 100 k's an hour. Alrighty, hope that came out well on camera. Just had Nemu come up beside me out of nowhere like he was trying to drag race me, and gave me a hell of a fright. But anyway, he was there 1 minute and gone the next. But yeah, we were going side by side for about 5 or 10 meters. Interesting. Now, some of you who follow geopolitical events know that the Australians have done a deal with the Americans to build nuclear submarines. They're actually building them out in the desert, and they've built their first one, and we're lucky enough to be able to see it. Here it is, with its captain. Right.
Yeah, this is New Zealand style.
Choice as, bro. So that's the new Australian submarines. That's going to keep the baddies at bay. Hope you enjoyed that. Mount Ive welcomes you. So this is an Australian cattle station, eh? Wow. Interesting. I think it's a cattle station. Anyway, apparently there's a campground here and they sell fuel, and that's probably about it. Not sure if there's any other supplies available. Here we go, reception. Fuel pump. Bingo. Alrighty, the campsite's been set up at Mount Ive. All the lads have got their tents up. There's Justin, Chad, and me. Let's go for a bit of a walk around. So there's some domesticated animals over there. Lots of land as the eye can see. There's a relocatable building. And that's it, really. It's pretty back to basics. There you go. There we are. So we made it across 100k of dirt without incident to Mount Ive. But what about tomorrow? We've got 180k plus of dirt to go. Tune in and see how we get on our way to Ceduna. The final stop with Chad and Justin, where they'll be turning around back to Newcastle the next day, and I'll be heading on across the Nullarbor to Perth. If you enjoyed this video, please give it the big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, subscribe and ring the bell. If you know anyone that might enjoy it, please forward it on to them. And as you know, I'm doing a fundraiser for the intellectually disabled community in New Zealand and the IHC that looks after them. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving a donation to the IHC via my Give a Little page. The link is in the description below.